Okay, let's get started with the agenda. So next slide, please, Brendan. So this is our agenda for today. We'll be starting off with a welcome and quick intro to XSpy and what this event is about. And then we'll essentially have two halves to the afternoon, which is part one of pitches and part two of pitches, interspersed with a lightning talk, hopefully, fingers crossed, from Cradle, from Stef, who we know is traveling, so hopefully he'll be able to dial in and make it. Next slide, please, Brendan. Next slide. So today we have a lot of sign-ups from investors, many on this sheet and many, many more. So global, European-focused, and many specialist, niche or boutique VC investors, but also a large number of angel investors, roughly 200 in fact, both VC and then 200 angels. Next slide. Introducing the XSpy team. So myself, Jamie Woodbridge, Stefan here, and Natasha isn't able to join today, I don't think. Brendan, who's controlling the slides, and Jenny, who will be running through and emceeing the whole event. Collectively, we make up the XSpy team, and we've been doing this for about 6 years now. Our first demo day back in 2017. Next slide, please, Brendan. And why are we here? Ultimately, to help founders succeed. And we've had many examples already of breakout success stories from ex-Google founders in the EMEA region. And we're hoping to contribute in our small way to many, many more success stories like the ones you see on your screen here. Next slide, please. And of course, this is a rich ecosystem for you as investors. The tech slowdown having fueled a large number of new people, in a sense, coming onto the market in the startup ecosystem in Europe, with 25,000 expected this year, and many of them founding their own startup or becoming part of the founding teams in early stage startups. And our latest data suggests that there's about 700 identifiable, verified startups in Europe founded by Google alumni. And this is the heart of what we do and our heritage. Although going forward, we would hope to expand into other alumni networks as well. Next slide, please. Over to you, Jenny, for the pitches.
Fantastic. Welcome, everybody. Good to see you all again. We have a fantastic range of startups, all at various stages, lots of different sectors. Really keen for you to hear what they have to say, and really thrilled to have you all here. We're first up with Tablevibe, which is a fantastic company that helps restaurants to sell directly to customers, save money, and capture customer data. We have our very own Zoogler, who's the CEO, Jerome Rutten. Jerome, would you like to put your slides up, and we'll get started?
Absolutely. Thank you, Jenny. Let me just share my screen here and let me set up. All right, can you see my screen now? Yeah, can I get a confirmation about that before I start?
Yes.
Yeah, all good. Okay, nice. So hello, everyone. My name is Jeroen. Tablevibe is a Y Combinator global founders capital and Velocity Ventures backed company founded by Googlers, helping over 1,000 restaurants sell directly to their customers, save significant money, and capture a lot of customer data. Let me start by the team. So Tablevibe was founded by 2 ex-Googlers and the lead coding teacher of the coding school that I attended. I used to be the APAC regional product lead for measurement and attribution at Google, and Mathieu used to lead various sales teams. Now, the biggest problems that restaurants are facing globally coming out of the COVID pandemic has been their incredible dependency on delivery apps. These delivery apps, they charge up to 35% commission. They also charge 10% service fee and the delivery fee to the end customer. So we're talking about 50% of fees going to these delivery apps, which is just insane. On top of that, these apps also don't share much of customer data with the restaurants, which is another big problem. So this is where Tablevibe comes in. Tablevibe helps restaurants to sell directly to their customers, save significant money, and capture customer data. And we do that in with three main pillars. Number one is highly engaging webshop technology for both delivery, pickup, and dine-in orders. Number two is top-tier fulfillment. through our Tablevibe smart delivery engine, we dispatch orders across 5 top-tier delivery partners, resulting in over 98% fulfillment rates. This includes Uber Eats, DoorDash, Foodpanda, Grab, and Lalamove. And then the third pillar is our extensive automated marketing solutions, including loyalty programs, marketing campaigns, feedback campaigns, referral campaigns, and more. Now, to just dive a little bit deeper into these cost savings. So Tablevibe charges a 5% service fee and a commission-free delivery fee. On a typical order in Australia, the restaurant and the customer together save about $12. The restaurant has the option to decide how much of those cost savings they want to pass on to the customer by sponsoring their service fees, their delivery fees, and by enabling other promotions. For example, Filipino 24 Chicken, like many other restaurants, they translated the cost savings into 15% lower prices on Tablevibe versus delivery apps. And then they turned their social media channels into storefronts and clearly communicated these direct ordering benefits. Order volumes have been growing steadily 6% week over week to 921 orders per week as customers start to realize that they can get a better deal directly. With a similar strategy, Arthur's Pizza in Australia saved well over 200,000 in delivery app commissions in the first 6 months alone. Tablevibe signed over 1,000 restaurants, including over 700 this year alone. In Q3 alone, GMV grew by 87% and number of orders grew by 123%. Tablevibe's revenue grew by over 700% year over year, is burning about $50K per month, and has a clear route towards profitability within the year. Plenty of time before we run out of cash. Tablevibe is gearing up towards a Series A next year, and we are opening up a small round in Safe Notes this quarter to accelerate our growth towards our Series A. I think a unique opportunity to get in early at a discounted valuation. So just scan the QR code here on the screen if you would like to book a meeting with me, preferably as of next week, as I'm in market this week. As of next week, the minimum ticket size is $50K, and would love to elaborate more in the meeting from there. That's it.
Fantastic. Thank you, Jay. This is live, so you can ask these people questions. So at this stage of every presentation, you can go to the notifications at the bottom. So there's a triangle, a square, and a circle at the bottom right. If you press on that and go to Q&A, you can ask some questions. Thanks, Easy. We've got started with that. Now, there may be no questions, and that's always good if there's no questions because you've covered everything, but quite often there are. And this format allows you to actually interact with the founder. So we have a question for you, Jay, from Easy. I don't know if you can see it there, but I'll read it out. What was the post money for the last Tablevibe round?
Let me see. Like, this is becoming public on YouTube, so I prefer to share that if you're interested, and if you can just reach out to me one-on-one, then I'm happy to share more details. Yeah.
We can put you in touch. We know Easy well. Yeah. So yeah, fantastic. And Brendan has asked, what is the repeat purchase through the app for the restaurants?
The repeat purchase number I would have to I don't have here top of mind. I'm definitely happy to look that up, but I think kind of the case that I showed where we see kind of the steady 6% week over week growth, most of those customers are kind of the returning customers that come back again and again, but the exact number I would have to look up. Yeah.
Okay, and Eva Kunert has asked, how much less or more do the drivers make with you versus Uber Eats or others?
Right. They make exactly the same. So we are in a privileged situation that we that these delivery apps, they don't distinguish whether the order comes through Tablevibe or through their own app. So they make exactly the same. Yeah.
Okay, and quick one for the final question, Federico Samoli. How hard is it to access a scalable delivery network in your focused geo?
I thought it would be much harder, and at the start it was hard because they don't want to just work with anyone. But once we got one, it was easier to get the second, then easier to get the third, etc. And once you get the order volumes, then everyone wants to join in. So I think by now it's pretty doable, pretty easy. It used to be pretty hard at the start. Yeah.
Okay, and Alex Belenke is actually wondering if you can share any revenue numbers or scale. Is it MMR or GMV type of revenue?
Yeah, same. Yeah, I understand the question. Same answer to the valuation. Prefer to share that, but one-on-one, not on public channels. Yeah.
Excellent. We'll put you in touch. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Jay. Next up, we have a company called Venzeo. They request credible photos to prevent disputes and fraud. Joseph, who is Joseph Vodika, he is the founder. He's also an ex-Googler, and he is also a member of Forbes Under 40. So take it away, Joseph.
Thank you very much. So Venzeo is here to make requesting credible photos extremely easy to prevent disputes and fraud. Our team consists of members who are experienced in a fast-paced environment, and we gained so much insight from our pool of advisors and from our interviews. So to give you a problem we are trying to solve is when a bank would love to give you a second tranche of money for your construction loan. They need to see if you use the funds according to the contract. So they need a photo documentation because seeing is believing, and they need some paperwork. Another example is something what many of you know. You get into Airbnb or you just rent a car, and first thing you do the pictures around to find scratches to prevent any dispute afterwards or some costly situation. And there are many more. When you have businesses working in the field for municipalities or just franchise, they're making sure that the quality of the service delivered is really on a high level. So they do pictures. And with that comes a hell for organization because they come through WhatsApp, through mail, or through links. You are losing track what is what. And many times the quality of the photos is not meeting your standards because sometimes you just need to zoom in. And with the rise of AI tools, it's so easy to fool you. And you can try it yourself. Just open a device, go to settings for time, and set it to 2 weeks ago. Here we go, you do pictures 2 weeks ago. And this is why companies such as bank and insurance companies are paying millions of dollars every year, every month to photo forensics experts to check all those submitted photos to prevent fraud and find out who is trying to cheat you. And this is why we came with a very easy solution where a corporate or a person request through a web or API from somebody else, just using their phone number and description, pictures which are valid and trustworthy. In the end, they receive a notification with all those data and much more, and mainly the likelihood if this person tried to cheat them or not. And this way, from the beginning, they can distinguish between the cheaters and the people who just need to get the second tranche really fast or their insurance money. What is great that the experience for the user is so easy because they receive a link through a text message and they open it and automatically Venzeo is activated and guides through the user. So they send all relevant data to the requester. And yes, there is confetti in the end. There is a huge market we should eradicate regarding the fraud. And there are millions of people who are using car rentals and also rental businesses such as Airbnb. And you can scan the QR code to just know more use cases from ChatGPT. The traction of our tech is there. So we already built it. There are already 1.5 million photos processed. We gain first customers, we gain first traction, but right now we are pivoting our use case from a long-term mobile users to one-time users. And right now we are just waiting for a potential regulation coming in to this space. So those big corporates will have to look for solutions such as ours. And there are already competitors raising rounds. So yes, we know about them. And right now we are open to raise like 1 million euros a round. And also we are open for new people to join our team. So if you are interested, shoot me an email or scan the QR code and book an appointment with me. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Joseph. Great pitch. Now, we don't have any questions on there, just to remind people that have just joined. There's the ability to be able to ask these founders questions because it's live. On the right, go to the triangle, square, circle, and you can add questions there. It's always good if there aren't questions because that means you've covered everything. Joseph, you've been very comprehensive. It's an incredible offering and definitely something to be looking at if you're thinking of moving into investing in this sector. Thank you. I think that's it for you. I have now Gembapro, which is the next company up. It's the interactive training platform for mining and construction workers. This closes a 500 billion blue-collar productivity gap. So lots to go for. Now, Ando is the founder and CEO, and he'll be putting his slides up now just to move forward with this one. So Gembapro. Ando, do we have you online?
Yes. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon.
Fantastic.
Just give me a second while I'm sharing my screen. It should be up in a second. Let me know if it's there. It looks like it is.
That's perfect. Take it away.
Grant. So yes, hello, everyone. My name is Ando. I'm the CEO and founder of Gembapro. We are an alchemist and exploration capital-backed company that is building an interactive training platform for blue-collar workers in heavy industries, such as mining and construction. And the problem we were solving is that these industries are currently suffering from a massive skill gap that exists due to the fact that majority of, maintenance and operators are not exactly college-educated specialists, but people who finished high school, went to work in the field, and it is on the company's shoulders to train them and get them competent. But again, they're not exactly doing the best job because they're relying on a very outdated training methods like standard operating procedure manuals or PowerPoint presentations that don't really capture the attention of people. So as a result, they have half-baked competencies, and people, make mistakes, break the equipment, stop the production. There are health and safety accidents, and on average, the mining company loses $140 million a year in lost productivity due to that. But if we're talking about the industry as a whole, according to Deloitte, it ramps up to $500 billion a year in the US alone. So this is the problem that we're solving, and we're helping maintenance and equipment operators to gain the complete skill set on how to well operate and maintain heavy pieces of mobile equipment like trucks, drills, etc. And the secret sauce here is that we're doing it in a really interactive fashion, allowing people to train by interacting with a 3D model, by passing small challenges and small visually rich lessons that actually gather attention, grab attention, and help people build skills, which ultimately reduces downtime and produces 5 to 7 million in downtime savings and extra productivity to an average client in the mining industry. And look, if we're talking about blue-collar workers, there are more than 170 million in the world. But if we're talking about the market that we're currently working with, mining industry, there are over 2.5 million equipment operators working in the space, and with average expenditures of roughly 12 to 1300 per employee, we're looking at a $3.5 billion market. Now, if we're talking about the longer vision, we intend to grow into construction, forestry, and oil and gas, which is already a $40 billion market opportunity. And we already have some progress. We have our first pilot client with 35K in ARR going live in 2 weeks. We also have 3 letters of intent to be seized into contracts by the end of the year and to grow to 110K. And for the next year, we have a pipeline of 17 companies with an overall value of $1.2 million to be basically seized and to grow with. And our current customer is not just any company, it's the 15th largest mining company in the world, Norsk Nickel. And right now we're training roughly 10% of their employees, and the 2-year plan basically is to grow this contract tenfold to 350K. Now, if we're talking about the team, we have a pretty extensive experience in mining and construction through years of working in McKinsey and BCG, and our CTO has a very deep understanding of the edtech industry, and he authored our 3D engine, the backbone of our tech that makes our learning really interactive. Now, in terms of the current plans, we're raising 750K in our pre-seed. We're roughly halfway there, having raised 220K and committed another 100. And the goal for that raise is to grow our customer base to 6 enterprise contracts within the next year and build 3 success cases, ROI cases, that we will use to further scale and accelerate our sales process in that industry. So that's us in 3 minutes. If you're interested to talk more and be a part of the journey, happy to chat.
Fantastic. Thank you, Ando. Looks fantastic. We've got a couple of questions coming up. I'm just going to read these out. So Natasha, you are on here. Natasha's part of our team, and she's just joining at the moment. So how do you deal with the risk of having the first client from a country that is under sanctions?
That is a great question, and this is something that we had to think about very, very extensively. Ultimately, we made the decision to work with that customer, and that's the only one from Russia that we decided to move forward with. The rest of them we have dropped. Norilsk Nickel we decided to work with for the reason that they are, as a company, are not sanctioned, and with the amount of nickel they're producing, we're talking 20% of the global supply, they are in the risk-free zone. Apart from that, we're completely shifted our focus to the US, Canada, and Australia. And as you can see from the pipeline and from the customers that we have signed LOIs with, those are precisely Canadian and Australian companies.
Fantastic. So we have an anonymous question. How long is the typical sales cycle, and who is the main buyer profile?
Right. So the typical sales cycle ranges between 5 to 7 months, and the profiles of the buyers are twofold. Those either would be innovations departments within the mining companies, or those would be operations departments. Now, you might ask, why not learning and development? Well, because learning and development normally is responsible for execution, but the guys who actually have a headache in terms of the productivity numbers and the lost time are operations. Hence, they are the primarily buying persona.
Fantastic. That's awesome. Thank you so much for presenting. It's come across really well. By the way, we will be sending out all of these presentations to everyone, so you will be able to get the contact details and sync up and have meetings to go into more detail with any of these presenters later on. So thank you so much. Next up, we have a company called Sinterit. We have Konrad Glowacki, who is the founder, and he's going to be presenting for us. This is a company that enables businesses to use most utilized 3D technology, and that's 3D printing technology in-house, but providing affordable solutions available worldwide. Take it away.
Hello.
Hi.
Nice to meet you all. So what the Sinterit really is, we developed, sell, and deliver the solutions worldwide. And this is a different solution that most of you know. We work with powder, plastic powder, and laser that we create the parts. But essentially, additive manufacturing consists of several technologies. Two of them, probably you know, they were revolutionized by American companies in the last 10 years. But the most important technology that's based on powder wasn't at that time. And that is the closest to injection molding. So it's really useful in prototyping, as well. It's the only one that can really go to serial production. And this is called SLS, PVF, whatever we name it. And what we saw that there was a gap, that nobody was offering smaller solution, and we decided to change that. We deliver not only the printers, but all the steps that are necessary to work with the solution. So it's a turnkey offer from us that we deliver to our customers. We started as a base team of 3 engineers, one from ABB, 2 ex-Googlers, but right now we grow to more than 120 people here in Krakow, in Poland, working on these things. Crunching the numbers, we have more than 1,600 machines installed worldwide. Over the course of the years, we developed a kind of good revenue stream. We are getting really great of this year. As well, we are break-even, and we already got 2 investors on board. One is a service provider from Germany, and the second one is venture capital from Poland. We are present globally, and that also means we have multiple customers through the big brands using our technology in small-scale series production and R&D. But what's next, really? What we found that we revolutionized compact line of these powder-based machines. We decided that we want to revolutionize the industry size of the printers. So that's why we created new solution. The new solution differs from what is currently on the market because it gives double the productivity with less than a half of the investment. We are focusing on total cost of ownership of the system and cost per part. On top of that, the new system is automatized in the way that it relies way less towards the user, to engineer to operate that one. We are close. We already have this machine being tested in the field, but what is important, we are seeking for investment to really scale it up significantly as we see the potential for the market. And that's why we are seeking for an investment for more than 5 million euro. And I'm open to any questions.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Konrad. We have a couple of questions that have been populated. Just to remind people that haven't been on the call earlier, go to the bottom right where there's a triangle, square, and circle and put any questions for these wonderful presenters who are live. Put them in there. So we have Gerrit Sinderman. Apologies if I haven't pronounced that correctly. How accessible is your solution in countries where problems are maybe biggest, e.g. Congo?
I think this was to the prior presentation, Jenny.
Ah, was it? Fantastic. We didn't, I think they must have come in late. And the one also then for Alex that came in at the same time, so that one might be old as well. Okay, so we have one. Yeah, Gerrit is approving that. Do we have any questions for Konrad? I think we're all clear on Sinterit. I think we've always been interested to know what's happening with 3D printers. I haven't seen them take it off completely yet, but it's definitely going to happen. So great presentation. Thank you. Okay, so next up, we have Ortus AI, and we have Gorek, who is going to be presenting. He is the founder, she is the founder, and it's non-English LLMs for businesses, including local values and culture. Take it away.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, so.
Okay, just a second.
Thanks, Alex.
Let me just know if you can see the slides. And it's not PhD, but that's fine.
It works.
You see the slides, guys?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. So my company name is Ortus AI. I'm Alexa. I used to work at DeepMind as a research engineer on the multimodal LLMs. Maybe some of you have heard of the Flamingo model. Previously, I was a machine learning engineer at Microsoft, where I was working on the HoloLens project. And along the way, I built a community of over 150,000 people across various different platforms such as LinkedIn, YouTube, X, Discord, etc. I guess X, Twitter. So what's the problem I'm trying to solve? Basically, everybody is now focused on English LLMs. And we know that most of the organizations will want to have their own large language model. So, I mean, that's probably obvious at this point of time. But the thing is, there is almost no ecosystem for most other languages, so meaning non-English languages. And so what's the solution I'm trying to offer here? Basically, I want to offer non-English LLMs for businesses. And the reason that like you want to create such an LLM is that you have a much better output in that particular target language. And additionally, you will have local values culture ingrained into your LLM. So like imagine somebody from Vietnam asking about taxes. They probably don't care about American taxes. They want to know Vietnamese taxes. And also because of the nature of like I'm planning on offering these on-prem, it's going to offer better data security to companies. I'm also planning to have a subset of these models being open source in order to attract talent, to allow customizability for the companies, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so why now? I think this one is obvious. Technology breakthrough happened in the AI. There's a lack of competition for the low resource language markets. It's mainly confined to research circles, and I'm mostly talking to those people because of the nature of my community. So what's the idea going forward? I'm first focusing on building the first ever LLM for the Balkan region. And it's literally a project of national importance because like Serbia, the country, for example, has a supercomputer of 40 GPUs. And so basically, I as an individual and company will be able to build something that's going to change dynamics in the market here. So I quickly want to validate hypotheses in this region, in the Balkan region, and then expand to Africa, India, Southeast Asia, etc. Okay, so I'm going to leverage the community to hire the talent because that's one of the toughest things to do right now in the AI space, hiring. I'm bringing top AI talent as we speak. Like I literally had folks from DeepMind, from OpenAI, Tablevibe author, et cetera. So I'm going to use that as a hiring funnel and as a marketing tool, basically for getting the best people. Okay, so what I'm looking for is basically currently a co-founder, a support to build a founding science team, and investors with deep knowledge of this space. That's pretty much it from my side. Hopefully I was on time.
Thank you. That was very much on time. That was wonderful. Thank you so much, Alexa. So if you're keen to join up and I suppose gain the expertise from Alexa and also push this forward, please do get in touch with them. We'll be sending across any of the communications and any contact details later on. We have a couple of questions here coming through. One from Alexander Belenki. How do you monetize?
How do I monetize?
Yeah.
Basically, creating custom partnerships with companies. And yeah, I think that's a TLDR, basically. That's the main way. We are probably going to have also APIs, but that's like less of importance than the custom relationship with companies. So for example, like a bank from Serbia, for example, might need like ChatGPT for Serbian language and retrieving documents for Serbian. And so like creating a partnership with them and creating custom models for them, fine-tuning for their own financial data is a way it's going to work.
Fantastic.
That makes sense.
We have an anonymous question. Google Bard already has 40 languages. They might add more. How do you deal with this risk?
So the thing here is the same dynamic if you're familiar with Mosaic ML. Like companies are not, most of them are not ready to share their precious data to third-party APIs, including Bard. I think that's a TLDR. And also like, yeah, it is 40 languages, but like you would be surprised that there is still a lot of languages that are not covered by Bard.
I was working on under-resourced languages for Africa, and that was definitely the case. There's hundreds and hundreds. There's a lot of long tail available there.
Yes.
Brendan Murray's asking, have you gotten a prototype yet?
I'm currently training the first model. I have the data, I have the tokens, I have the knowledge to build it, but like I definitely need a stronger team around me. Like as you probably know, like you need a lot of overlap here, technically speaking, in building systems just because it's so complex.
Excellent. So that's a key ask. He's also asking, is your solution built on top of the large language models?
Well, my solution are LLMs, as I hopefully made it clear during the presentation. So they're not English LLMs. So it's building on top of LLMs, fine-tuning, doing the like alignment, human values, et cetera, et cetera.
Fabulous. And Ali Saraf is asking, what are the most compelling non-English LLM use cases you're trying to solve for?
The most interesting non-English, I think I mentioned the expansion to different markets. I'm currently focusing on the Balkan region, meaning Serbian, Bosnian, Montenegrin, Croatian languages, Slovenian, Greek, whatnot, and then expand to other markets. There is a ton of interesting opportunities. I can't tell you like a precise country because like everything is fairly early stage.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Alexa. Fantastic. So I'm going to go on to the next presentation, which is Stacey Chan, who will be presenting 1 Billion Stories, which is a company that is a generative AI text-to-video platform. And it's designed specifically for publishers and for brands to engage with customers. Now, Stacey Chan is the CBO and co-founder, and she's just getting the slides up here. Alexa, do you want to, that's it.
Oh, sorry. Hi, everyone. I'm just trying to present, and I swear I used to work at Google, but apparently it says
They keep changing it.
Okay, I think it's shared now.
Takes a moment, but yes, all good to go.
Fabulous. Okay, thanks so much, Jenny. Hi, everyone. My name is Stacey Chan. I'm one of the co-founders of 1 Billion Stories, and we actually launched our flagship product last week, Videofy.ai. To much fanfare on Product Hunt, we were the #2 product of the day, which is very exciting for us. Thank you. My co-founder and I are very proud Zooglers who love content. We were both on the product partnerships team out in Singapore. That's where we met. Where Anu was one of the first YouTube employees in the region. I was more on the Google News, Google search side, working very closely with publishers to really understand Google. So we love content in all formats, but particularly video. There we are. We're also very proud to have closed our seed round last year. So to give us the runway to actually hire these incredible AI engineers, which as we know are very much in demand and are going to be the backbone of our new team as we go into the generative AI space. So what is Videofy? It is our text to video platform. It's the easiest and fastest way, I promise, to generate videos from text. That text can be news articles, blog posts, and the video is actually more of that short form, mobile first video optimized perfectly for TikTok, for Instagram Reels, and many other social channels. And we know that this is actually critical for discovery. It's such a saturated market out there, but these two channels in particular, TikTok and Instagram, are how publishers are unlocking new audiences and how brands are acquiring new customers. So when we pivoted to this Videofy format, well, we said, what actually is the problem we're trying to solve? We know video is the most engaging content format these days to grow your audience and acquire customers, but creating that video is incredibly expensive and time consuming. So our value proposition to publishers was Videofy can actually, if you can copy and paste a URL, you can generate a video in under 5 minutes. And for publishers whose primary content these days is the static text-based article, this is the best way to generate video at high volumes and unlock these different social media channels. For brands, many of them do have websites, product pages, they've got some newsletters and blog posts, but those are all very static text still. So Videofy can help them convert a lot of collateral that they already have into dynamic video that they can then share on social. To date, in our beta, before we launched last week, we were working with a lot of great enterprise customers. The logo up and to the left should be very familiar to all of us. So we're very, very grateful for the partnerships that we do have. We've got about 20 paying customers now. With the launch, the public launch, we want to offer a very competitively priced tier for SMBs and individual creators to also use Videofy. So we're really looking to democratize AI video generation all over the world. We've got clients in Europe, Asia, and the US as well. And we've got many, you can see the Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts channels of a lot of our customers. We have content live. We've generated tens of thousands of videos to date, and we only anticipate that number growing. Real quickly, we get this question a lot. Hopefully, if anyone in the Q&A was asking, there's a lot of players in this space we recognize, but Videofy is the only platform that will create the end-to-end video. By end-to-end meaning it has a really solid narrative because we built the video off of that original news article or that original blog post. There are many competitors out there doing great avatar generation, really robust editing tools. Midjourney, DALL-E obviously do the great generative AI images, but we believe we're the unique solution to create end-to-end videos that are ready to publish. And what we're looking for, hopefully, is more partnerships. So if you're interested in AI video generation, please do reach out to me. That's my email, my WhatsApp, and contact for any leads and prospects, and happy to keep talking AI video generation. Thank you.
Sorry, my voice wasn't working there, but great. That was fantastic, Stacey. I'm really interested to see where videos take us next. We have a few questions on the right. We have Ice White, who I know well. I'd like to post 2 YouTube shorts every single day. How many shorts can be generated from one article? And are there other ways, other than articles, to create these videos, such as a 3-hour podcast video?
I love all the use case questions. The short answer is yes, multiple shorts can be generated from one article because you can break down the article into different subsections. So many permutations. The inputs of text are also varied. We are exploring not just article URL, but we're exploring prompt to video. We are also looking into long form video to short form video. So yes, the vision, the end goal really is to be any sort of conversion engine for the content you already have to having different types of outputs.
Fantastic. Okay, Easy's asking, do you have any proprietary tech?
Yes, so we are building on top of a lot of different LLMs, but what's really proprietary about our models is we will fine tune for every new enterprise customer that we onboard. Quick background, because we come from the search world, we're very good at, we believe, scraping, crawling, and understanding that original text. So we actually will build specific models for our bigger enterprise clients. Otherwise, if you are on the free trials, we're using more general LLMs.
Fantastic. Well, good luck with that. I'm looking forward to trying it out, actually. 1 billion stories. Thank you.
Meta AI. I'll put it in the comments. I want everyone on this call can actually give it a try. 5 free videos for every trial account.
Fantastic. Thanks, Stacey. Okay, so we have Philip up next, Philip Filipov, and he will be presenting Moment. He's the founder and CEO. And Moment is an AI-based personal time assistant that simplifies and speeds up the complex whilst handling the trivial.
Thank you very much, Jenny. And by the way, Stacey, I used your product and it was fantastic. So thanks a lot for this. So Moment, my name is Philip. As Jenny said, I'm 39 years old. I'm a father of a 6-year-old boy. And before I started what I'm building right now, I was an executive at Skyscanner, handling their product and strategy sections. And I had an incredible assistant who knew me personally and actually handled my life. So I never realized what big of a problem I have, which is time management. And I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate. So this is exactly what I'm trying to build. I'm trying to build Kirsten. I'm trying to get her to be intelligent, personal, and connected assistant, which takes your time, your lifestyle, and your contacts, putting it into one and overlaying applied AI into this so it can help you manage your time and spend your days better. We're starting with a calendar. Right now we have an iOS app in the App Store. It's a different look at the calendar and I hope that you enjoy it and it's a little bit better, but we're already overlaying lifestyle, which includes your health data, your commute, your travel into the same space. And finally, we're adding the context. So we're closing the loop to understand your preferences across your time, your days, and how you communicate with your contacts. We're placing ourselves somewhere in the middle. So instead of going enterprise, trying to solve a problem in calendaring or fully consumer, we combine your work and personal calendars into one. And we want to be solving 80% of the cases that you have, whether that's calendar, whether that's a little bit of help you need, when is my flight taking off and is it delayed, or whether that's following up with your contacts, we're including that thin layer that integrates all of that into a consumer product. Why are we different? I think a lot of what we see today with OpenAI is fantastic and unbelievable, but I don't think that's truly an assistant. If you need to instruct it what it needs to do for you, it's more of an intern rather than an assistant. An assistant in our mind is promptless. It should be proactive and tell you what you could do to actually get stuff done. It should improve over time based on your patterns, and it should allow you to make the final decisions, because otherwise automation will fail. Try to automate somebody's day, and I'm sure in 3 days you're gonna actually hit a wall. We're targeting 300 million people who don't have assistants. They're in their 30s and 40s, in mid-career, in flexible or hybrid work, for parents or in a partnership, because let me tell you, once you become a parent, everything gets into your calendar. There is no free planning anymore. So that's the crowd that we're going after with a subscription model. There will be a free version of the app and also a paid version, which is going to be $10 a month. We are a small team of 4 individuals who put the app about 10 months ago into the App Store. We've had 30 user releases, a bunch of downloads. Our numbers are improving in terms of average sessions and retention, and we're super happy with the early feedback we're getting. So download it and tell me what you think. And right now we're raising our pre-seed round after a very small angel fundraise with it last year. Hit me up at Philip Filipov. This is my LinkedIn and my email, and I'd love to chat to you. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Philip. I need this. I have 3 kids. You might have heard them coming in the door just started from school. It does get very confusing and complex. So thank you for solving that for me. Have we got any questions for Philip? We've got his details up there. You can ask him yourself as well if you want to ask him personally, and we'll send across all the details for everybody as well. But that was really clear. I love it. Thank you. Now, next up, we have a slightly longer presentation from a company that XFi has already invested in. It's a company that we know very well, and we're really proud to share with you as well. It's a company called Beyond Math. I love it because we have one of my hiring managers from Google who has started it up, Alan Patterson, and he is co-founding with Darren Garvey, who we have here today to present it to you. And this rounds out our part one today. This is an AI company, AI for engineering design. Longer form presentation, of course, so a little bit more in depth, but really interesting. I hope you enjoy it. Beyond Math, and this is Darren Garvey.
Thanks for the intro, Jenny. So we're Beyond Math. We're a relatively young startup, about 1.5 years old, and we're applying artificial intelligence to simulating the physical world. For decades, engineers have used numerical methods based on calculus to solve our most complex systems of equations. These equations are used to calculate and predict how our designs behave in the real world. They're essential tools for every engineer. They're essential for every single thing that we build. You might have seen simulations like this one. In aerodynamics, we can calculate the velocity, the surface pressures, and the turbulence of airflow over our cars and our planes. The simulations like this are used everywhere. They're used in automotive and aerospace, in energy and climate, in heating and cooling, building control, and many other areas. But they have a severe limitation. To simulate just 100 milliseconds of real time takes a supercomputer hours or even days to run. The ultimate supercomputing application today. They're expensive in time, in energy, and in computing power. This is a quote from Rob Smedley in Formula One. I think he was working on reducing the turbulence of two cars as they race close together. He said that they managed to get the first iteration of a two-car simulation down to 11.5 hours. And I think he's boasting here because he's really talking about moving from supercomputers to the cloud. But it still took 7,000 cores running in the cloud for this simulation. It's these limitations which force our engineers to make explicit trade-offs between how many simulations they can run and how well they can design. Engineers can only afford to optimize a small percentage of any given problem. At Beyond Math, we're removing these constraints. We're using artificial intelligence to solve these equations orders of magnitude faster. We're already seeing speed ups of up to 10,000 times faster. So simulations that today take hours or days to run can now take minutes or even seconds to run. Optimization typically takes thousands of iterations. And now, with this kind of technology, we can, instead of running just a handful of simulations, we can now run thousands of them. We can afford to optimize a much larger percentage of the problem. So a bit about what we're doing more concretely. We're on a journey to digitize engineering. Our very first product is the digital wind tunnel. We're working with one of the big Formula One teams. They're helping us fine-tune, develop, and validate the technology. In Formula One, they have a big problem with simulation. In order to understand the performance of their cars, they need to run a huge number of simulations. These simulations are incredibly expensive. The average Formula One team buys a $50 million supercomputer just to run their simulations. Most of them even build their own wind tunnels to validate them. And they cost $60 million to build and over $1 million per year to run. The sport aims to phase out the use of wind tunnels to reach net zero by 2030 but currently they don't have any practical path to get there. In Formula One, the teams are constantly iterating the design of their car. They bring effectively a brand new car to every single race, and they set it up for the configuration of each race, the conditions of each race. What they need to do is run simulations across thousands of different setup parameters, but they can't afford to do that. All they can do is run just a handful of simulations and then guess at the performance for the other setups. What that means is they don't always get it right. They'd love to be able to fully map out the performance of their car, and that's where Beyond Math step in. With our digital wind tunnel, a designer is able to upload the CAD model of their car and see the aerodynamic velocities and the surface pressures be calculated in near real time. Here you can see what it looks like, one version of the wind tunnel. We have a Formula One car, and we're focusing on the front wing here. The streamlines here are showing the shape of the airflow as it interacts with the front wing. The colors represent the velocity of the air. You can also see the flap on the wing changing angles and how that's impacting the shape and the speed of the airflow. In conventional tools, each change of this flap angle would be a completely new simulation. And in this case, a single simulation would take 10 hours to run. Now, this video is not sped up. This is the calculations being done in real time. So would you rather wait 10 hours or get instant feedback? So to put numbers on this, earlier this year, we ran a validation study with the team. We took a 2D front wing, and in the conventional tools, the simulation took 100 CPU hours to run. In Beyond Math's tool, the same thing took 43 seconds. So that's 100 hours versus 43 seconds. It's 8,300 times faster. And the results correlated incredibly well with the previous simulations. So for the teams, this is transformational, because finally it gives them the option to fully map out the performance of their car prior to every race. Their engineer told us that this is game-changing. Teams spend millions of dollars just to get a fraction of a second speed up. So we believe strongly that Beyond Math's AI technology is going to transform mobility. This is not just about motorsport. We're already seeing potential improvements in aerospace, and we're looking into energy, specifically as a starting point with hydrogen fuel injection. So faster simulation translates to faster time to market. More simulation translates to better optimization. More accurate simulation translates to less physical testing. So maybe we do have a path to phase out the use of wind tunnels and digitize engineering. We raised a pre-seed of 1.5 million last year with XFi as an investor. We are right now, this month, getting together a pitch deck for a seed raise. And we're planning on kicking off discussions relatively soon for that. So if you're interested, please reach out. We'd love to chat. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Darren. They were amazing slides. Look at the artwork in there. People were commenting all the way through. That was very, very cool. So Alex Balanki asks, I wonder, what does it take to create such a deck? Serious question. How did you do that? Did you have a third party?
Well, our lead investor at Partners, they actually remarkably have a marketing team. So they helped us out with it, which is very gracious of them. And it's not our skill. We're engineers.
Outsource. Gerhard West, who I remember well from Google, he's plus winning Stef. I'm basically saying, please quantify the accuracy of the AI approach versus classical. Also, how certain are you that the Formula One teams use the best possible classical algos?
Both good questions. I mean, I'd say Formula One teams are seen as some of the heaviest users of CFD in the world. That's why we work with them. We're kind of working with the best in the world on the hardest problems. And the main reason that if we can work for them and validate, get beyond what their like threshold is, then it should work very, very well for like all of automotive and a lot of the similar use cases.
It's a good one to start with, yeah.
Yeah, and in terms of quantifying the accuracy, so there's various measures. One measure is measuring effectively the coefficient of pressures on the surfaces. So if you're doing planes, it's lift and drag, and then the center of pressure, they're very important. So we kind of do statistical measures compared to that. And then there's another aspect of it, which is really around, is it better or worse, right? If people are making changes to a design, are they going in the right direction? And that's another much easier measurement because it's binary.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. Quick question there from Frederick Leishner, who I worked with before as well. Hi, Frederick. He's basically saying, can you expand on the commercial model? How are you going to make the money?
It's really around simulations. So we're building a platform where people can actually run the simulations through us. Now, there's an accepted cost for those simulations. A huge portion of that cost is down to the amount of compute that's used. Now, we don't have anything like the same amount of compute, but it's an accepted cost for the simulations today. So at least for the early part of our development, we're going to be using those effective costs and just having much higher margins. It's a per simulation cost.
That makes sense. Thank you, Darren. That was wonderful. We'll obviously send across any details so that people can get in touch and learn more.
Thanks a lot.
Great. So next up, we have more of a talk rather than a pitch. We have Stef van Grieken, who is the co-founder and CEO of Cradle. Now, he's going to give his perspective on the intersection of AI and biology. So this is really checking in on Googler startups and how they evolve. And today we're just seeing a lot of them at the start of the journey, but this one's more, what happens next? So, hi, Stef. Have you got slides as well? Are you going to post them up?
I do. I think they're going to come up right now. Thank you for having me. Big fan of the X-Fi community, and we thought, as fellow Googlers building a business, it might be helpful to build a bit of a community and talk a little bit about maybe a less obvious domain, which is applying large language models to engineering biology, which is really what we're trying to do at Cradle. So we're a team that got started in 2021. A couple of folks, Eli, who was part of Google Brain before, Daniel, who was one of the early folks in the Zurich office for Google. And then obviously, as we're in biotech, so having biologists is quite important as well. So what do? We love to make it a bit easier to program biological systems. Now, obviously, biology is incredibly complicated. And so at the level of cells or even whole organisms, we don't think there's a lot of help yet, unfortunately, for generative models. That said, some of you might be familiar with some of the work that AlphaFold has done in sort of rendering and showing what these molecules are like. What we're trying to do is really, I want to improve this molecule in a certain way, and sort of what will be the sequence that I need in order to do this. Biology is already quite central to a lot of our lives, whether that's in medicine or chemicals or materials. A lot of proteins are being used in those products. According to McKinsey, almost 60% of all of the products that we consume today could be made with biology. And just to give you a sense of some of the products that are out there, about 60% of all of our pharmaceutical products are based on protein. So whether that's antibody therapeutics to vaccines to many of the diagnostics that you might have been familiar with even during COVID. But maybe a little bit less known, you might have wondered at some point, why do my detergents keep working at lower temperatures? That's basically because people have been starting to mix in enzymes that are much better at breaking down fats and starches and those types of things, all the way from degrading plastics to nutrients to serving the biotech industry today. So these are incredibly powerful little machines, but they're very hard to engineer with some of the tools that people are using today. And it was interesting, the previous talk actually made me think of how a lot of folks in biology use these very large physics simulators as well, and might be waiting for weeks to months for them to figure out how a protein might fold or might interact with a certain other molecule. So the sad reality of being a team within bio is that you go through several dozens, sometimes even 100 set of experimental rounds where you're trying to improve your enzyme product to make it do something that nature didn't intend at the beginning. Every experiment, so every label costs about $150, and then with the methods that people apply today, maybe 1 to 5% of the candidates where they've changed the sequence come out being improved compared to the ones that they had before. And so I think one of my favorite quotes from one of our customers is sort of 99% of our experiments fail in the lab. We just don't know which 99%. We do know it's about 90% of our runway until Series C. And so that makes building a bio-based product a very expensive thing to do. So we use language models in a generative fashion, but instead of training them on text or code, we trained them on protein sequences as well as experimental outcomes that we've generated within our own lab, such that you can use them to improve upon existing proteins that you might be working with. So for example, I would love my protein to be more stable, which means that it can endure higher temperatures, or that it's more active, which means that it can do a certain chemical reaction faster, or bind better if you're in a therapeutics context, sort of attached to a certain molecule that you wanted to attach to for a longer period of time. We can do that across some of the properties that a lot of these biologists care about. So what you see here is a little Y-shaped protein called an antibody. The top left side might want to attach to a cancer or something your own immune system doesn't recognize as a threat. And you can basically ask our models, hey, I would like to bind better to this thing, be more stable, and look more natural to the immune system. And we will effectively generate a set of sequences that will go into your experiments as a R&D team within biology to then sort of serve its purpose. Thank you, Natasha. I am not an MD. I'm one of the more mathy inclined people. So we can solve for several types of tasks today, especially within, let's say, the realm of planetary health, where people use a lot of enzymes. So stabilizing those molecules and making them more active is something that's completely self-service in our software today. We're currently piloting expression, which is making more of the protein within a cell: affinity, specificity, cell penetration, and then stability. Think of these as sort of the Figma tools that a lot of biologists would like to have. This is a SaaS, and so our customers will pay for every molecule, like every protein that they're engineering, and they use it as part of their sort of the design step in their design, build, test, learn cycle. Within our lab, folks are typically research associates or scientists that use our software, sometimes even medical doctors. Like I said, we license out access to the software through the web, which honestly in biology is already quite fascinating because a lot of things are happening still on people's local machines. And then over time, we'd also love to sort of allow people to run certain experiments remotely that they're doing sort of physically in their own lab right now, and really with the goal to just dramatically reduce the amount of cost and time that you need in order to bring a bio-based product to market. Just to give you an example, we have our own laboratory. We do 3 things there. One is it's generating labels. So we try to test out whether our models generate the right type of stuff. Secondly, we built these demonstrator projects, which is to show to other folks in the industry that our models actually work. And then thirdly, good Google tradition, we eat our own dog food. So our own research associates are using our software in our lab, and we try to make it better that way. This molecule is called T7 RNA polymerase. It's the molecule that turns DNA into RNA. You can sort of see it in the middle with the helix being unraveled there. A lot of people that are making RNA-based drugs, this will be their manufacturing workhorse. So this is the enzyme that you use in order to produce your RNA-based drug. If you can make it faster and more stable, you can effectively keep the reaction going longer, and then you can produce more product for the same amount of cost. And so that's something that they typically like. Plus, you can make longer product, so you can have, quote unquote, a more complicated RNA instruction being manufactured. So typically our customers get between 1 to 5% hits when they sort of make changes to this molecule. For the first set of ones that we generated, we had around 70% of our candidates improving both stability and activity, and introducing a lot of mutations that nature hadn't come up with before. Now, given this thing polymerizes RNA, it's like highly conserved in evolution. Like every organism has this. If you break this enzyme, like nothing happens anymore. And then what you can do in the subsequent round, which is actually pretty cool, is you can sort of fine tune your models and see, hey, could we generate candidates that sort of are very predictive of what might happen in your laboratory? So what you see here, The blue dots are generated sequences with the model's expected value for what was going to happen in the actual experiment in the lab. And then the red dots is what actually happened within the laboratory. So we found 95% hits here, and the correlation between our expected lab outcomes and the real results in the lab were a 0.83 correlation when you use Spearman rank coefficient as the measure of success. We have 9 customers right now. We have closed our Series A, and we're currently scaling to work with a lot more customers. Our current customers include a top 5 global pharma, top 5 global chemical player, and a top 5 global biotechnology player. And so we're quite excited to grow the business right now. But unfortunately, not looking for investment at this point.
Amazing. I can't believe how much you've done. It's such an interesting topic and a crazy area to be working in. You say you're not interested in money at the moment. What's the kind of runway looking like? What are you going to be doing? What's the future hold?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm not going to comment on the exact size of the runway, but plenty at this point. I think for us, it's really about, like, most of our work was in can we build models that are actually dramatically better than what humans can do today, which I think we've been successful at least for enzymes. We're now scaling into peptides, vaccines, and antibodies as sort of new modalities that we can work on. We're also, growing our commercial operation and getting to a point where, let's say the platform right now is lots of duct tape and tie wraps, and so we're trying to make that into sort of real software, or at least I want to be able to sit in demos and not be embarrassed as a former Google PM.
Absolutely. Another former Googler has asked, who are your existing investors? That's Jürgen Galler.
Thank you. Yeah, we have Index Ventures and Kindred Capital as our current investors.
Fantastic. Now, Alex Belenke has asked, what are you so interested in? Is that your question?
Sorry, I didn't hear a question in that question.
I know. Alex, do you want to come online and ask that, or reiterate it? I don't know whether I think that was.
Hi.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
Hi.
I was wondering if you're not interested in money, but you anyway decided to join the call. Is there anything that you may ask the Googlers community or Zooglers community for?
Are you hiring?
We're hiring, certainly. So definitely, if you're looking for a job, check out jobs.cradle.bio. Yeah, I mean, a bunch of the XY team folks, we were chatting, and they're like, hey, it would be super fun to just showcase some of the work that some Googlers are doing in Zurich. So I didn't come into this meeting with a particular goal in mind, but anyone that's interested in this stuff, research wise, or if you want to talk about other types of collaborations, happy to.
And we will definitely facilitate any connections, networks. If you want to be put in touch with people, we will do that. So yeah, fantastic. Really interesting. Thank you, Stef. Brilliant. Okay, so we're moving into the second tranche of our presentations. We have Earthly, which is the next company. We have Oliver Bolton, who's the founder and CEO. Now, Earthly transforms companies into responsible businesses and regenerative brands. And he's here to talk to you about it and take you through. So thank you, Oliver.
Thank you very much for having me. Just checking you can see that, okay?
I can see that. I can't see you. Oh, yeah, I can see you now. Brilliant.
Okay,
take it away.
Perfect. Great. So we have, there's a huge funding gap to carbon. There's a $500 billion annual funding gap to meet our Paris 2050 goals. And there's a $700 billion biodiversity funding gap. We also have issues around project quality, as we've all seen the headlines this year, and ongoing greenwashing risks. So at Earthly, we combine high integrity data-rich projects that go beyond just carbon to look at biodiversity and social impact with a differentiated, engaging story that delivers a return for our clients to ultimately accelerate funding to nature and to reach our mission of protecting and restoring at least 1% of our planet by 2030. We're really proud of the 600 businesses we're working with around the world. About 25 of these are enterprise clients with 1,000+ employees, and also really proud of the fact that we were the first investment from Google's new SDG Impact Fund. So at the heart of our assessment sits our project quality assessment, which has been developed by our scientists. You can see here at the bottom over the last 3 years. And this screens 106 data points, a third in carbon, a third in biodiversity, and a third in people, to ultimately create a score for a project and de-risk our clients' investments into nature-based projects. From the 300 businesses, through 300 projects we've screened to date, only 8% have met our minimum standards, to kind of give you an idea of the challenge around quality in the market. So we provide a customer hub, a customer impact dashboard that also shows the granular impact of our clients' investments. To give you a quick idea, so for a healthcare company that approached us, we were able to find a project that over-indexed on health as a co-benefit, to kind of create a value-aligned partnership. And then we were also able to look at all the granular health impact metrics. So specifically linked to their investment, we can share with them the people receiving healthcare and the number of injections delivered, as an example. All of our products invest in nature, so we have certifications. We have an API that can enable businesses to embed nature investment into their business model. The API can trigger investments into projects, and it can also send back that granular impact data that I just mentioned. We have a self-serve marketplace for SMEs, and then for our larger clients with net zero commitments, we are now moving on to origination. To give you an idea what that looks like, so from 9 different clients, this is the origination demand pipeline that we have. And you can see at 2030 and 2040, we have upticks alongside those net zero commitments. And to meet those demands, we have a solid pipeline of carbon credits supply, all from projects that meet our minimum standards. Looking at our kind of revenue stream, so we have a 20% transaction fee from any investment into nature-based projects. We have monthly SaaS fees, linked to the level of support we provide our customers. We have one-off service fees that also deliver an income. So we hit 1.2 million GMV last financial year, and we're on track to hit 3 million GMV for this year, and then rapidly scaling up as we enter into those origination opportunities. We're really proud of the recognition around and the awards we've won around our assessment. So a couple of examples here are from last COP27, where we were a Climate Tech winner and then a Nature Tech winner for the World Economic Forum this year. And we're a team of engineers, entrepreneurs and scientists all passionate about protecting and restoring our planet. Multiple exits between us. And yeah, we're raising a 2.2 million seed, and we'd be delighted to answer any questions that anyone has.
Fantastic. Thank you, Oliver. I'll leave this one up with the QR code so people can link in with you. But of course, we'll send these out as well afterwards. If anyone has any questions, then please do put them in the questions to the bottom right. I think there's some noise online there. I don't know whether it's just behind you, Oliver, or whether it's somebody else that has muted. I'm trying to work it out. But that was fantastic. Thank you so much. It looks like you're the right direction. And yeah, if anyone's interested, then please do let us know. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so next up we have Building Atlas, and we have Nick Taylor, who's a co-founder. This platform enables building asset owners with large portfolios to find the best path to decarbonizing them. Hi, Nick. I can see your presentation.
Thanks, Jenny. Hello. Yes, just arriving. You can hear me okay?
Yes, perfect.
Good. Cool. So I'm Nick. I'm one of the co-founders of Building Atlas. And as Jenny says, our focus is on helping organizations decarbonize buildings at scale. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about how. So we're a group of optimists. We're a small team. We believe that humanity is going to solve climate change. And that whilst buildings cause 40% of emissions, there's a lot of work to be done, and we think can be done to make that better. Replacing all of the buildings that have already been built around the world just isn't feasible. And so if you're the owner of a building, you need to upgrade it and do that fast. And that's not happening anywhere near as fast as it could. So imagine you're the owner of a portfolio of buildings. Your customers, your tenants are wanting greener, nicer, better buildings. Even more so since COVID, we all understand the challenges of return to work, and the environmental performance of buildings is critical there too. Meanwhile, regulators are ratcheting up their energy efficiency requirements, progressively tighter and tighter standards on the amount of energy that buildings should use. So if you're one of those portfolio owners, you're looking for expertise, you're trying to find expert help, but surveyors are in short supply, and it'll take years to get around all of the buildings to do that manually. And even then, those surveyors will only give building by building views, not across your whole portfolio. So there's a real risk of losing value, either by doing nothing or by doing the wrong thing, by investing in the wrong measures that don't result in savings, that don't maintain the value of a building. So what are we doing? We're building a platform a platform and an ecosystem to scale those retrofits across buildings. So we're different from those traditional ways of doing these things manually. We're a zero-touch platform. All you need to do as a portfolio owner is give us the addresses of buildings. We use public and private data sets and machine learning to build effectively the Google of buildings, a real kind of big data set that analyzes buildings, that understands the optimal retrofits across a portfolio. But we're not just a dashboard. We know you can increase value by doing the right things to a building. So we need to build an actionable end-to-end plan with financing and delivery partners to actually make those retrofits happen, the right projects for the right buildings across a portfolio. So whilst there's a massive risk to loss of value in buildings, we think the opportunity here is huge. There are, all of these buildings, in essence, almost every building that exists today will need some level of retrofit to get to net zero by 2050. We've been speaking to lots of potential customers and partners, and we believe we have a clear path to 30 million in annual revenue over the next couple of years, growing to 150 million over the next 5 years as we broaden our feature set and scale out across the market. This is really just scratching the surface. We are conservatively looking at taking a small proportion of the market for scoping and modeling retrofits. But as you can see, there are 10 million commercial buildings in the US, UK, and the EU, all of which need this analysis done. So who are we as a team? Myself and Olga, co-founders from Google, and we've designed, built, and sold Google scale technology products. And our third founder, who's joining us soon, has deep expertise in energy modeling, both at the city scale and the building scale, and also has lots of relationships with asset owners to help us get started. All three of us are climate people, and we chose this problem as a critical problem to solve. So our main goal for the coming year is to confirm our product market fit, work with some of those customers that we've been talking to as pilot customers to really build out the model, refine our data, and to start to scale. And we expect to hit meaningful revenue at some point in 2024. So we are applying for a bunch of grants, UK and EU funding, but also looking for angel funding to go alongside that to help us hire some people and get started. Any questions?
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Nick. Yes, we have a question that's come through. Let me see. Okay, from Brendan. Are all buildings able to be retrofitted, for instance, older period buildings? Are the costs to retrofit such period buildings economical?
I'll take the question. Hi, I'm Olga, Nick's co-founder. Great question. So in general, yes, all the buildings can be retrofitted. Of course, there are heritage protection regulations that differ by locality, but the question of cost is very, very important. And when you think about which building to retrofit, it's actually not just it's not just a building physics decision, it's also the decision about commercial potential of this building. So if it is a heritage, wonderful, protected building somewhere in central London, and you can use it as a retail location, for instance, yes, go ahead and retrofit it, even if it's going to cost you more, because the value uplift of that retrofit is going to be substantial, and you're basically getting your money back just because your asset becomes more expensive. If it is, an old movie theater somewhere on the seaside in Manchester, so I don't actually know UK geography very well, but there are just some buildings that don't have a huge amount of value, whether they're retrofitted or not retrofitted. And this is exactly what we're helping portfolio owners to figure out, which buildings to start with and what are the right measures, the most cost-effective measures that are going to bring you the most value and allow you to put more dollars and pounds into this green transition.
Fantastic. And there's a lot of prompts from councils, etc., to get, retrofits for these rented out accommodations, etc. There's a lot of push in this direction. So yeah, it looks like definitely something that's going to be needed and something to invest in. We've got Ben Knott asking a question. There's a very large number of companies in this space. There is indeed. My father did this in the 70s. I used to run one of them. He says, how different are you? What makes you stand out?
Yeah. Ben, would love to talk to you, absolutely, and learn from your experience. So we did a deep dive into this market, and what we see is that there's a large group of companies that focuses on residential real estate, and we just don't want to touch residential in the near future because there's never return on investment. You can install a heat pump for 30,000 pounds, and it's going to take you 300 years to get your money back because there's no value uplift in the building. There are fewer companies that focus on commercial, but there are still some. A lot of these companies basically are born from consultancies. So they're building a tech solution on top of a consulting workflow where it becomes a little bit easier to do these one-to-one assessments of the buildings. It just doesn't scale, right? If it takes a day or half a day or an hour to assess each building and you have 10 million buildings, it doesn't scale. So we're taking a completely top-down, zero-touch approach where we're just using big data. And of course, you know, if portfolios are able to provide us more data, then that's great. But we should be able to give them answers with just the address. And the second differentiating point, there are quite a number of companies that do ESG reporting for the building industry, so deep key, measurable, and so on. They're great. They have a reason to exist, but they're dashboards, right? That's what we've learned in our Area 120 sustainability work. You can't just give people more data. You need to actually tell them what to do and walk them to the solution. And that's why we want to also provide preferential financing that is based on this value uplift and connect them with preferred partners to actually do the work. Because we you know, there's no time for dashboards. We need to actually get all these buildings retrofitted.
Fantastic. And I suppose that explains or answers the next question, which was from Virginie. You know, but it's not just landlords you're after. This is bigger, scalable solutions that you're providing. So it's not just the drones, etc. It's a bigger deal.
Yeah, it's actually a great question. So we're still doing a huge amount of market discovery, doing user interviews almost multiples every week. We realized that there are a couple really big portfolio owners or large companies that have thousands of buildings, and they work with the companies like CBRE and JLL. It's like the McKinsey of real estate. They have in-house sustainability teams, so they usually don't need our help. If you're a mid-level landlord and you have 100 different buildings or 500 different buildings, or maybe even 30 different buildings, it's too many already to assess manually. It's too many to model in an Excel spreadsheet, but it's too few for JLL to pick up the phone when you call. And this is where this lack of expertise is really coming in. We did some calculation, basically back of the napkin calculation, how long it would take to do the assessments of all these buildings if we do it with the current method, so going into a building and trying to figure out what it's made out of and so on. We need like 28,000 years, right?
Yeah.
Not enough time. Speed and scale. I'm in a hurry.
Fantastic. Okay, so we have a sweet spot for people to invest in. That's perfect. Thank you so much. Really awesome to see us working in the climate tech environment. We'll put you in touch with people who are interested. Thank you. So next up, on the other end, we have fashion brands, and we have the Revivas. So we have Merv and Fulya, who are co-founders of Revivas, and it's an online outlet for sustainable fashion brands. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. I'm Merve. I'm a proud ex-Googler. I have 15 years of experience at Google and Vodafone. At Google, I work with many lifestyle brands, advising them on their digital strategy.
Hi, Fulya here. I have a finance background with 10 plus years of experience. I did my MBA at Columbia Business School, spent most of my career at Goldman Sachs in the New York and London offices. Merve and I know each other from college, and our passion for sustainability brought us together. We strongly believe that the future of fashion is sustainable businesses. And then the shift to sustainability is happening at a slow pace. we think we wanted to start up the Revive Us in order to accelerate this shift to sustainable fashion.
So what is Revive Us? Revive Us is a UK-based online outlet only for sustainable fashion brands. We only sell high-quality sustainable items at discounted prices. And our platform aims to solve both the supply and the demand problem at the same time. So what's the demand problem? When we look at the demand side, we see that 65% of the fashion consumers want to buy sustainable brands, but a majority, unfortunately, face a price barrier. On the flip side of the coin, sustainable brands do have an excess inventory problem around 30%. So by listing the residual inventory of sustainable brands at discounted prices, we are removing the price barrier for our consumer, and at the same time, we are helping the sustainable brands grow and monetize their excess inventory.
Our business model is based on dropshipping, hence highly scalable and asset light. The market is quite sizable, estimated to be 15 billion pounds today, and benefits from significant tailwinds. The Revive Us is highly differentiated within competition. There is no other player offering only sustainable fashion brands at discounted prices. We are currently at an MVP stage. We are getting ready for our launch, soft launch in the coming weeks, but we have an ambitious growth roadmap. We target more than 100 million pounds of GMV with 4,000 brands by the end of 2028. And our vision is to become ultimately a global leading community of conscious consumers and designers. Our funding target is to raise 1 million pounds. So far, we have received 200,000 pounds of investment, and we are SEIS EIS approved. We are currently looking for new investors that can support our vision. If you want to discuss more, please scan the QR code. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Fantastic. Thank you both. That was such a different proposition to some of the others, and wonderful. I love that there's so much diversity in this list of presentations. We have a question coming in. It's a very crowded space, and that's very key. How do you plan to stand out? How do you differentiate?
Actually, our differentiation is unique in the sense that we only offer sustainable brands, and we vet these brands with the third-party certifications, and we are offering them at discounted prices. So there is no other players in the market who checks both of the sides. There are some players who offer sustainable brands, but they are not offering outlet prices. And yes, there are so many marketplaces out there who are off price, but they are not necessarily listing the sustainable brands. So that's kind of our unique selling proposition.
That's good. Specific. Okay. Thank you, Jeffrey, for moving your question across to the Q&A. Just to everybody, don't put your questions in the chat, but put it across in the Q&A so we can see them come in. He asks, how does your consumer marketing strategy, what does it look like?
So from a customer segmentation perspective, we are tapping into a unique customer group because the people who are buying from the sustainable brands are sustainability champions. But we are focusing more a different segment who wants to buy but cannot buy. In order to reach that segment, we are going to mostly leverage the paid ad channels on Instagram and Google Ads, obviously. The way we are using is that we can really niche target those people, and then we can see the results with a measurement from a measurement perspective. But on top of that, since we are in the fashion space, of course, we are going to do collaborations and PR as well. This all depends on our funding as well also.
Fantastic. Sounds exciting. Thank you so much for presenting. Yeah. Good luck.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Next up, we have Malika. So we have Dr. Lorraine Maluka and Pascal Koenig, and they are both co-founders. This is a pregnancy-related app where basically they've said mortality is 100 times higher in sub-Saharan Africa than it is in Europe. this has been developed as a program which addresses this issue. Really important. Thank you so much. Take it away.
Thank you, Jenny. Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Lorraine, and together with my co-founder, Pascal, we are very happy to tell you more about our maternal health startup, Malaika. We're on a mission to making the pregnancy journey convenient and safe for millions of women. And the problem that we are looking at is clearly depicted here. The disparity between the very high maternal mortality ratio in sub-Saharan Africa being close to 100 times higher than that in Europe. And over the years, as a gynecologist, this is very disheartening to see, knowing that most of these deaths are actually preventable. So at Malaika, we're looking to solve this, and we have built an online pregnancy program. We know that evidence shows that having a personal nurse midwife support you throughout your pregnancy journey leads to better outcomes for both the mother and the child. And so utilizing technology, we are connecting pregnant women to exactly this. They have their own nurse midwife journeying through the pregnancy with them as their coach, as their guide, all the way till their baby is 6 months old, ensuring that they're adhering to WHO guidelines. Through our program, we're offering access to gynecologists for some mothers who may have never had access to this, and also giving daily educational content and a community with other pregnant mothers going through the same phases of pregnancy. We already are seeing that our program is having an impact with better outcomes for both mothers and children.
So while the impact is quite clear, the question is, how do you actually make money with that? So what's the business model? And it's a typical B2C2B model, as you often see as is best practice in digital health. So we started on the B2C side. On the left side, you see the revenue traction. We currently have 450 paying pregnant women in our program. But then the real scale over time is B2B. That's very clear. So we have signed hospital partnerships in Kenya with more than 10 clinics. And we're also talking to insurance companies in Kenya and also in Nigeria. So that's going to be the key growth channels. The market is massive. So pregnancy related in Africa is a big market. Kenya itself, our initial target market is more than $1 billion USD. Kenya and Nigeria, that would be the second market, is 5 billion, and all over the continent is 23 billion. And what is interesting to see is that fertility rates are actually coming down big time across the continent, but still the market is growing at 5% due to the emerging middle class.
And this is our team of co-founders, myself with over 10 years experience in health tech startups, and Pascal, who has built 3 different startups over the last 20 years. The last one, a femtech with more than $10 million US ARR. Victor is our CTO and also has built 2 successful tech startups. And Isis, an ex-Googler, who is the founder of Mums Village, the largest pregnancy and parenting community in Kenya.
So we are currently raising our pre-seed round. It's a $1 million round. 700,000 is paid in already. We're actually also talking to a team of X5 people who already made a soft commitment. So it would be amazing if you would join. And what we're going to do with that is get to 100,000 ARR and positive unit economics. It's very clear in this market that unit economics is crucial. And then later in the second part of next year, we'll do a seed round, a 2 million round to get to 1 million ARR and expand from Kenya to Nigeria. So yeah, it would be amazing if you would join our journey.
Amazing. What an incredible company and so important. I'm absolutely gobsmacked with that first slide. This is a real opportunity to save lives, literally. Thank you for starting it up, and I really want to support it and put people in touch with you. We have a couple of questions. What are you doing with your users, customers, once birth is over? Where do they go?
Yes, so we actually follow them all the way through till the baby is, usually we've been doing this for 2 months, but this quarter we actually increased this to 6 months, up till the baby is 6 months old. And because we've really seen that there is a lot of need even in that space. And over time, we do see that this may then continue up till, 1,000 days of life. So we're currently still supporting the moms even in this time.
Fantastic. And we have Michael Ade George asking, have you seen a reduction in numbers in Sub-Saharan Africa in the past 10 to 20 years, or have you seen an increase? Yeah, I'm interested to learn if there's been a movement with advancement and improvements in healthcare.
Yeah, it's a great question. And actually, it's very disheartening because the numbers have unfortunately not been going down over the last 10 years. We've seen them sort of like plateau at around 550 in Sub-Saharan Africa. And actually during COVID, we saw them go up slightly. So there has been a plateau and really a need for us to embrace technology in trying to change this.
Thank you so much for your efforts in it. It's such a worthy cause. Thank you. Great presentation, and yeah, one to invest in. Thank you. Okay, we're on our final straight with 4 more startups. We have Librio. We have Ed Russell, who's the founder and CEO, who is going to tell you about this Swiss love brand creating lifelong memories through personalized gifts. Thanks, Ed.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, all perfect. Thank you.
Cool. Now for something completely different. Hi, everybody. My name is Ed Russell. I'm the founder and CEO of Librio. We're a Swiss love brand specializing in personalized children's books, as you can see from the images below. In the last 6 years, we've bootstrapped to 20 million francs in revenue. And as you can see from the KPIs there, then we had 5 million revenue in 2022. We're currently plus 30%. We've sold over 540,000 products in over 100 countries. We donate 1% of revenue to charity. So I was very interested in the Earthly presentation earlier, because that's something we're very much interested in, engaged in. And we've got 30,000 5-star reviews. We have an extremely strong community. In July this year, we worked with that community to raise 1 million francs through a crowd investing campaign. It was actually the 4th most successful crowd investing campaign in Switzerland this year. And the top 2 were both fintech companies. So we're really proud of what we achieved there. The thesis for that investment was to expand our product portfolio beyond just books into adjacent categories which have larger TAMs and employ the same technology which we currently use and engage the same community which we currently use, so we can scale the brand through product diversification. Our vision is that we become a generational Swiss brand, creating unforgettable moments along life's journey at key events. So you can see all of those little blobs there represent events which we could create products for. We're currently very much in the children's book section at the moment. So that was the pitch up until a couple of months ago, when it became increasingly more obvious how much generative AI is going to impact our business. And so post the investment round that we completed in July, we're now looking into how generative AI can really help revolutionize the gift space. So on the left-hand side, you have the Librio Classic products, where basically it can increase our product diversity and reduce our time to market. But we also do see a fully fledged AI version where somebody can come to our website and create an ultra personalized gift with unique design, and also allow us access to personalized audio through AI. How we see it in the future is that somebody could come to our site and say, create a book about a boy called Tim who wants to fly on a dragon. And within seconds, you have a beautiful product that's well written and well illustrated. And you can order it using our current printer network and get it delivered to your home. There are products out there at the moment that are trying this. They're a little bit rough around the edges. I put in a prompt saying, create a story about a turtle in one of them. And this is what came out halfway through the book. The turtle turned into a giant rabbit, which is a little bit scary. But it made us ask the question, what exactly is the USP of a brand like ours when anybody can use a language model to create a personalized product? And we believe it's really everything that we've focused on in the last 6 years and has made it successful. So building strong trust, human curation, sustainable production, and purpose, and coupling that with responsible use of AI. We think we can join all of those things together to make a really modern brand. The personalized gift space is growing. It's 30 billion francs globally at the moment and growing 5.8% annually. I put together a few reference companies there to show companies which have got significant funding and strong revenue in this field. We're now raising a further 500,000 francs to turbocharge Librio AI, and we're going to use that for headcount and R&D to fully unlock AI's potential in both the book segment and the audio segment. Just looking at the team, I'm a 3-time founder. Tim, my co-founder, is an ex-Googler, which is how we got the ticket to this event. He's the CMO, and we've got 13 full-time employees in 4 countries around Europe. So we're using this platform because we'd really like to attract investors, especially in the angel segment. We're also looking for any advisors or partners who could help us in the AI space. and people who share a vision of building a remarkable future-thinking brand. You can see my contact details at the bottom there. I'm going to leave you with a different QR code at the end. If you don't have a Christmas gift yet, then you can get a 30% discount by using this code. So thank you very much, everybody.
Fantastic. So it says there a special Zoogler 30% discount. Can you get that discount if you're not a Zoogler?
Yeah, it's for the whole event.
Fantastic.
So anybody who gets that code, please don't share it, because it's one of the biggest discounts we give. But
fantastic. Thank you for doing that. We have a question from Brendan Murray. How sticky is your current products?
It's difficult to say on a product level. On a customer level, we have extremely sticky customers. I mentioned earlier we have a really strong customer base. We have a net promoter score of 85, and that's been constant for the last 6 years, actually, since we started. The products are kind of referral mechanisms themselves. Once somebody sees one of our products and they go and buy it, and actually a really strong indicator of that is that we launched our book in Norwegian, which is a great aspect of personalized products, because you don't have to pre-produce them before you can launch in a new country. And it was Norwegian Father's Day yesterday, and we saw a massive sales spike after everybody had given their gifts and they had seen them around the dinner table or whatever. Then they bought them for themselves. So it just shows they're kind of referral mechanisms in themselves. And so I'm going to go to Virginie's question as well. I think it's really important how sustainable personalized gifting is, because it's something which is only created once for the customer who buys it, rather than having to produce 30,000 books and hoping we sell 30,000. We only produce the books once they've been sold. We try to do so in a sustainable way as possible. We produce everything on 100% recycled paper. And then we ship it directly to the customer. We have 5 printers around the world, so that we have as short a time as possible to get to the customer. The one downside we have on the personalized production is that we work with print partners who work with lots of other providers, and so we don't control the full chain end to end, but we're really working with print partners who really are looking to make a bigger environmental impact.
And so could you ever do it online rather than have physical books?
Yes, it's actually much easier for us to do it online, but especially because we're in the children's book space, then parents want to hold the book and share it with their child. So we kind of went towards the haptic enjoyment there.
Excellent. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Ed. Do download the QR code there, and we'll send across any details afterwards. Next up, we have Les Amis, and we have Anna Bilic, who is the founder. Now, this is a company that's helping people to build social circles in the new city using AI.
Thank you. And first of all, I would like to start with saying thanks to Jenny and Stefan for this opportunity. And secondly, I would love to start with the easy question. So the first question is, did any of you lived or worked abroad? And the second, if yes, did you feel lonely? I'm with you. I moved countries twice, first to Ireland and then to Spain. And both times I felt uncomfortably lonely. Both times I wondered if it's me or if it's that hard to make friends. Apparently, it's not only me. Did you know that over 50% of Gen Z and millennials struggle to make friends and report feeling lonely on a regular basis? That is 550 million people globally. We're living through the loneliness epidemic, and countries like US, UK, and Japan already call it as a serious societal problem. Only for the US, the estimated cost is $406 billion per year for the economy. Thankfully, as mental health becomes less taboo, we use technology to help us find new social circles. And that's where Les Amis comes in. At Les Amis, we envision a world where forming meaningful connections is easy and enjoyable. We use algorithms to create dynamic social circles, small groups of people, and help them make friends. So first of all, you create your profile, we match you with the people with similar interests, and after that, we create a chat group for you, and then you can meet in real life through shared experiences. Sounds easy? The magic is in fostering a trusted space by gathering groups of people with similar backgrounds and lifestyles. So unlike other social networks, we want to maximize the user's time spent offline with their new friends. So we focus on curating offline experiences. Les Amis took an unusual approach to consumer products, and we bootstrapped for 1.5 years to build a product that users love. Instead of forcing growth, we focus on retention and connection success while unlocking organic growth channels. Our users already made over 25,000 connections with 80 NPS score and 91% 3-month retention rate. And we also have a profitable subscription model. We are the team, sorry. And Les Amis, it's not just about the single touch points. From chats to social calendars to private memory feeds, we provide the infrastructure for friendships to flourish over time. And we are a team of 6 people with backgrounds from Google and PayPal. In addition, we have advisors from Uber, Klarna, Ala Yoga, Atomic Angels, and others. And right now, we're raising funds, 2 million, and 50% is already committed. Reach out to schedule a call or let's meet at the Web Summit this week. And this week, also on Wednesday, I will be presenting on the main stage of the Web Summit. So let's meet in real life. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you, Anna. It sounds like you're getting lots of presentation experience in there and lots of opportunities for people to meet you in person, which is wonderful. We have a question that's come in. Do you verify identity, or how do you address potentially super-powered abuse of dating service?
So first of all, to be the user of Les Amis, you need to apply on the website. So people give us the information, for example, where they're from, what is the work experience, hobbies, where they're living right now, etc. And after that, we give the access to the platform. So once your profile is created, you choose the date once you're available, for example, next Friday, and then we connect you with small groups of people. Usually it's 5 or 6 people in a group who is also available on that date and who has the similar profiles to you.
Fantastic. This could be so handy. I've just got a new au pair and she will try it out, I'm sure.
Nice.
Thank you so much. Okay, we've
Absolutely.
got the final 2. We've got the final 2 and 10 minutes to go. So we're all on track. We have a company called Fave, and this is Jacqueline Omankona, and she is the founder and CEO of Fave, which is powering the ecosystem of fandom. I did see you, and then you disappeared.
I'm here. Hello, everybody. It disappeared. I'll pull this back up and get started. Looks like you can see me okay?
That's perfect. Thank you, Jacqueline.
Great. All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Jaquel, the CEO and founder of Fave, and very happy to be here today. And I'll start first with sharing this face. This is an incredibly passionate fan that has no idea what her face looks like right now because she's completely obsessed with her favorite artist. And I'm very familiar with this face. I used to be a super fan myself when I was younger. Yes, I was this crying girl in her bedroom who knew every lyric, every fact imaginable about her favorite artist. I knew how many freckles he had. It was just the complete works, okay? But I couldn't afford to go sit front row at a concert or buy a $70 sweatshirt. So despite me being this crazy passionate fan, the artist got nothing from me, which didn't make sense. And on the professional side, I used to work at Google and YouTube for 7.5 years, leading the creator, fan engagement, and AI-driven analytics insights. And it was very clear to me that we're very good at allowing creators to share a message with their audience, but anytime it came for the audience to react back or to participate or connect with each other or even stand out from the crowd, there were very limited ways to do so, like hard to comment, commoditize microtransactions, and even though they have this willingness to mobilize, deeply engage, and buy if they just had the chance. So this is why this superfan market has been deemed as a $4 billion opportunity by Goldman Sachs recently to be able to say that, hey, we have these fans who are willing to deeply engage. Now, how do we allow this to happen? So this is what we have been focused on at Fave, and we allow for fans to come here and capture all of the amazing activities that they are doing. This is everything from their streaming, listening behavior, and social behavior. Also things that go uncaptured today, like if they have a tattoo or make fan art or create their own merch, or if they've also memorized every lyric. And this unique, powerful first-party data that we have on exactly what your audience is doing is also combined with the third-party platform integrations that we have to create a 360-degree view on every single fan and creating a full picture of who they are, what they're doing, where they are, and at what intensity these activities are happening. Then we use this data in a few ways. Fans can earn points and status and connect with fellow fans with these unique characteristics, buy and sell in our marketplace, and connect with each other, and more. And this is driving incredible trust and engagement that will continue to grow. And industry facing, we just announced a tool called Fan Finder that allows teams to demystify these fans, see them in one aggregated view, receive intelligent insights about their behavior and recommended actions, and get in contact with them directly. This is all driven by a suite of AI that leverages photo intelligence, contextual understanding, semantic search to be able to say who are my most influential fans in Paris and are they attending the show, and Gen AI to within seconds produce content and take actions. So what's unique about Fave's approach is that this is all powered by fan-to-fan activity. We don't rely on the artists to be involved like most fan engagement platforms, which is incredibly difficult to scale. We instead allow them to leverage the passion that their fans have and efficiently see who they are to target them further and even receive passive revenue from our marketplace and the activities that allow this ecosystem to finally go from frustrating and time-consuming to a clear win-win scenario with their fans. So who is supporting us is across the industry, many strategic investors that we have that we're super grateful to now be converting from just partners and supporters into customers. This has allowed us to already have a 1/3 capture of the marketplace of our tool set, not including the plenty of inbound that's coming in from last week's public mention of our tools. And our past fan engagement experiences have also been growing the awareness of us as a safe haven for superfans. And across all of this traction, some of the top VCs have said that we're furthest along in the fandom space with the team, with the kind of real experience to be able to power this domain and the tech that drives it. So we have a strong foundation and traction with respect across the industry that we just need more resources to power. So we are in the middle of a raise now. We're raising $3 million with about 2/3 of it full, to deepen our technology and the nuances we can capture here, power more experiences, first party, and scale to third-party platforms, and expand to other verticals like movies, sports, fashion, online creators, to really become the go-to destination for all of this. So thank you so much. Please do get in touch, and I look forward to connecting further.
Thank you, Jaquel. Fantastic. It just sounds like such an incredible online service. I think everyone would want to be part of it. So I have a couple of questions that are coming in. One from Brendan Murray. Which is the larger revenue stream for Fave, the fan network marketplace or the founder and fan connection side of the business?
Yeah, we have just launched the industry-facing tool, right? But we absolutely expect this to be the larger one. We know that right now the industry is keen to be getting these insights, and this inbound is showing a lot of promise. So it's not quite determined yet, but we are hopeful at what we're seeing so far.
Excellent. And what's your team size and how is it structured?
We have 9 so far on the team. This has taken a bit of a turn through the economy for us to be quite more lean than we were before. And it's driven by our technology team that's based out here in Europe to deepen and scale the tech, as well as a fan engagement team that engages on the business side to make sure that we have these deep relationships, both with fans and on the industry. So those are kind of the 2 arms, and we're all these passionate fans with many fans involved on our team as well.
Fantastic. I love the passion for it. That's brilliant. Yeah. Thank you so much, Jaquel.
Of course. Thank you, Jenny.
All right. So now we have our last one. I'm really excited to be able to present Passion Fruit. We have 5 minutes, 4 minutes. So we're getting there on time. We have Dan Malone who will be presenting. He is the co-founder of Passion Fruit, which enables content creators to launch their own branded mobile network. Take it away.
We're Passion Fruit, and our vision is to create the future of mobile networks in the creator economy. Our phones have changed substantially over the past few years, but mobile networks have remained the same for decades. Within the telco industry, network providers have struggled to differentiate in that most are selling the same product, leading to both margin and customer value erosion. Customers have come to expect nothing more than calls, texts, data, as well as poor customer service from their network provider. But most customers actually stick with their network provider for years because, frankly, it's too much hassle to switch and they likely won't get much better value elsewhere. However, eSIMs are about to change everything. Digital SIMs are set to become the default way in which new networks acquire customers, creating a truly frictionless experience. With this comes a unique opportunity. With eSIM adoption set to increase by 250% over the next 4 years, we believe that online content creators are perfectly positioned to launch their own mobile network. But why creators? Well, it's simple. Creators struggle to build meaningful revenue streams which amplify their brand. Existing revenue streams such as ad revenue, affiliate marketing, and one-off brand deals are volatile, infrequent, and impersonal, creating a significant pain point of financial instability. With mobile being an inherently sticky product, a creator-led mobile network represents a brandable revenue stream that is both predictable and scalable. The concept of creator-led networks has already been tested in Mexico, where an online creator launched his own branded mobile network, gaining 100,000 subscribers within 12 months. In the US, Ryan Reynolds and Mint Mobile proved the potential of a celebrity-led network, ultimately being acquired by T-Mobile for over $1 billion. Passionfruit takes this concept to the next level, enabling not only creator-led mobile bundles for fans, but also value-adding benefits that are tied to the creator's mobile network, going beyond the standard offering of existing network providers. Imagine you're a super fan of Mr. Beast. You could subscribe to Mr. Beast Mobile, where you'd receive calls, texts, and data, plus exclusive fan benefits that are only available to Mr. Beast Mobile subscribers, all for a similar, if not lower, price point than your current plan. Those exclusive benefits could be private live streams, exclusive merch lines, or in-person meetups with Mr. Beast himself. The sky's the limit, and Passionfruit works alongside creators to make their network vision a reality. The best part, because we're exclusively partnering with the biggest names in the creator economy, our customer acquisition strategy involves leveraging a creator's existing fan base, thus avoiding the need for expensive advertising, a key cost differentiator between us and existing network providers. In return, creators receive a share of gross network revenue, and we look after all of the boring stuff from customer support to legal and billing. So how are we making this happen? On the telco side, we're utilizing EE in the UK and T-Mobile in the US as our network infrastructure. On the creator acquisition side, we've partnered with leading talent agencies globally who manage the largest talent in the creator economy. We're excited to be launching the first mobile network with Danny Aarons, who is the UK's largest FIFA creator, and we're targeting 5,000 network subscribers worth £100,000 in monthly recurring revenue from launch. With my personal experience as a content creator, Matthew's in growth and partnerships, and Dave's in product development, we've got the key ingredients in the founding team to make this happen. We are pre-product, pre-revenue, and we're targeting a £1 million pre-seed round, which would enable us to reach £500,000 in monthly recurring revenue by month 18. This would involve launching with the top 1% of talent within 3 to 5 leading talent agencies. However, with just £250,000 in funding, of which £50,000 has already been committed, we can launch with Danny Aarons in the UK by Q1 of 2024. Happy to take any questions.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Dan. That was really fast and finished exactly on 5 o'clock. So well done, everybody. What an incredible bunch of stories. If we have any questions for Dan, then let me know. Put them into the questions. Otherwise, I think we're all ready to wrap up. We've kept the numbers up the whole way through. So thank you so much for being patient with us. Such an incredible bunch. 16 companies that we heard from, and also then Cradle, which was fantastic. We will be putting a lot of this on YouTube, in fact, all of it, but we will also be in touch on LinkedIn as well. So do look for XFi on LinkedIn and do keep track of any of the events like this. And that's really the best place to be making the connections as well with any of our wonderful founders. Now, if you have any questions, please send them across to any one of us. I know you all have relationships with different parts of this team, I'm happy to take any. But for now, thank you so much for all participating and for being so wonderful, putting up with all the dynamics that come through on a very live. And yeah, a lot of mistakes can happen, but I think we pulled through. So thank you so much, and we'll see you again next time. Thanks. Bye.